Alright, I wanted to do a video. I thought this was very appropriate because of the Black Lives Matter movement, again, through repetition, because, you know, we white guys don't get it all the time, that it's not all lives matter, it's Black Lives Matter, because black lives are being treated like shit by police officers. Killed, you know, Rodney King, and recently George Floyd, amongst others, Emmett Till. I saw that about Emmett Till well over a decade ago. You know, the horrific, my stomach was churning, you know, because someone flirted with a white girl, and then she told everyone, and then he killed him, and removed his eyeballs, you know what I mean? That's horrific, you know, and then that white trash in Central Park, you know what I mean? Like, stupid, So not before Emmett Till, but before Rodney King, you know, you think Montreal, you think Canada, you think, oh, you know, it's great to be gay, it's great to be black, it's great to be everything, and it's not. It's not. It's a facade. The difference is, it's not always in your face, it's behind your back, right? It's very low-key, down low, if you want to call it, if you want to use that word low-key, let's just say, you know, people be nice. It's worse than in Britain. Well, it's about the same in Britain. Like, Britain is people are very passive-aggressive. They won't tell you you're a piece of shit and they hate you and we're better than you in person. And here it's kind of the same thing, you know, because we're kind of under the queen, you know what I mean? So you got that bull. So, Anthony Griffin, and I went to school with him. I'm going to insert yearbook picture from, he was 14 then, 14 is the same, I think he would have been the same age as me. He was in my art class. And I won't lie, I'm not going to make everything seem like flowers and roses and unicorns. He had a mouth on him. He was in my art class, I remember that, and he was like a, you know, I guess if you want to, kind of like Biggie Smalls in the movie, you know, he had a mouth to the teacher and stuff, but there was nothing dangerous or violent about him, you know what I mean, that merited getting his head shot in by I'm going to say it, a piece of frog cop, frog meaning French Canadian or French, derogatory, you know. So that was before the Rodney King. I think Rodney King was in the early 90s, you know, and then he drowned on his own. It's the trauma, you know, being videotaped and it causing worldwide awareness of, you know, the handful or the several cops doing black men and it being recorded. It was like the first time it was, you know, and of course the LA riots happened and all that stuff. But the trauma that must have happened afterwards, you know, because the drinking and drowning while you're drunk and all that, like, how do you get over that? You know what I mean? Especially if it's continued. The violence continues. Not just mentally in PTSD, but actually continues because of the George Floyd thing. And he was crying out for, I didn't see the video, but I heard enough of it now. I'm already enraged, you know, and the crying for his mama and stuff like that, and wasn't resisting arrest, and so anyway, so I went to look on YouTube for Anthony Griffin. 3 years ago, in 2017, there was a couple of articles, and first of all, Anthony Griffin, not the coach. I was like, I saw some Facebook videos, I'm like, who is this guy? Okay, Anthony Griffin is not it could be a common name, just like David is a common name, you know what I mean? But, so there was only like 2 videos on YouTube on it, and one of them was some guy talking about it, very Canadian-like.
I'm in NDG, not far from Saint Jacques Boulevard, just up near the Maisonneuve, up Grand, and we're looking at a Coalition Montreal campaign poster that has been repurposed. It was facing out the other way, and if we come around the other side here, we'll see that it has been repurposed to remember Anthony Griffin, who was shot to death by a SPVM police officer 30 years ago on November 11th of 1987, I believe. So basically shot to death on Remembrance Day by a SPVM police officer who was a little trigger happy, I'd say, to say the least.
Saying, you know, the not so honest cop, not so nice cop, whatever he said. You know, it was a piece of shit. I'd rather say what it is, you know. I don't care if this video is demonetized or whatever, I'm just keeping it real, you know.
The officer claimed that the death was accidental, that the gun went off without his wishing it to. But that doesn't change the fact that the officer had threatened to shoot Anthony Griffin prior to pointing the gun right at him.
It's not only an American thing, can I say a Western thing? Because it happens in the UK, of course. Obviously happens in America, obviously happens in Canada. I haven't heard anything about Australia. If you want, chime in on that. Africa had apartheid in South Africa. But anyways, my point is, the two videos and the couple of photos that I found, there's not much, And then here's the yearbook picture. But one of the videos was, talking about it was in French, a short little news clip talking about the killer, the cop. And the other one was the guy walking past a political sign and then seeing the back of it saying, remembering Anthony Griffin, who lived in the burbs with me, I guess you can call it the burbs, and then he moved to the area where he was killed, in Montreal, proper Montreal, not just the burbs. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to find anyone, if anyone's looking for it on YouTube. I'm going to find out what I can do with it. Put it on some posts, on some Facebook, not in some Facebook groups. I mean, it's hard to get in on that. I'm hoping people are looking for that, depending on how I title this. Black Lives Matter. Before George Floyd, there was Anthony Griffin, or even something more in your face. Racism, racist cops in Montreal. It's going to be a long title, I think, but I'll think of it. So, yeah.